Welcome and thank you for joining us. It's Wednesday, June 19th. You're watching News 2 on Via Channel 4 and 504. I'm Leslie Camis-Young. Topping our stories tonight, 6 new members of the governor's cabinet were sworn in Tuesday morning at Government House in St. Croix. Amid a packed room filled with family and friends and colleagues, the new cabinet members took their oath to faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of their respective positions. Senate President Novell Francis and Governor Albert Bryan Jr. pledged their support and gave words of encouragement to the new cabinet members.
The governor has assembled his team, and it's in our best interest to work with these individuals to make sure that the Virgin Islands move forward.
And I promise you, Governor, Lieutenant Governor, and all my colleagues and the people of the Virgin Islands, you will see development in the Department of Agriculture under my tenure, along with my assistant commissioner, and the staff of the Department of Agriculture.
Again, for me, leadership is not about position, it's about action. And it's about moving the Virgin Islands forward. And I pledge today that I will do whatever I can to make sure that the Department of Labor lives up to its responsibility to the people of the Virgin Islands.
We spoke a lot today about collegiality and collaboration, and I think that he has chosen a team where we are proving that we can do it, but we can only do it together.
My staff at IRB, I love you guys. I cannot do this without you. I need you guys desperately so I can do this. So I just want to say thank you for everyone's support, and I will continue to do my best.
I truly believe that I am fully prepared, and I will do my best to make sure and to ensure that I serve with fidelity the people of the Virgin Islands.
I thank you for your service to the community. Always remember, you work for the people of the Virgin Islands. Just report to me. Your integrity will stay with you for long years after you become a commissioner. Your names will follow you to your grave. So always lead with God first. I didn't hire you to agree with me. I hired you to serve the people of the Virgin Islands and to offer perspectives that will allow us all to grow as people and definitely grow as a community.
Over on St. Thomas, the Bryan administration's Virgin Islands Emergency Council came before the Senate Committee on Government Operations, Consumer and Veterans Affairs. This council is made up of government entities that take the lead in disaster response and recovery after a major hurricane. These agencies include VITEMA, the Water and Power Authority, and the Department of Public Works, amongst others. Agency heads assured lawmakers that the territory is prepared and taking cues from lessons learned after the devastating 2017 hurricanes. Senators, however, pointed out some gaps in the 2017 disaster response and asked for updates on how those are being addressed. Here's more from that meeting.
I think it's critical because I saw a void of that the last hurricane season, while there may have been a plan to make sure that there are heavy equipment placed in strategic areas. I didn't think that occurred as efficiently and as effectively during the last hurricane season.
I was proud on the execution in St. Croix. We were pre-positioned, everyone executed, the roadways was cleared rapidly. So to that, I give the department a big up. In St. Thomas, we lagged a little behind. Presently now, I think we're 100% prepared. We are strategically positioned throughout the islands.
Senators, the focus has been on individual and family preparation, discussion of the plans. So that's the emphasis we're looking at for the whole community approach, to focus on the plans, protect their houses, their loved ones. That was the main focus so far we've had.
There's obviously had been a gap during the last storms between VITEMA and the Virgin Islands National Guard. Have you been able to close that gap to ensure that the National Guard will be able to flow right into the scheme of things post this storm?
Yes, Senator. The Virgin Islands National Guard is worked very closely with the VITEMA. They're actually looking at being proactive in the sense of going to the community early on. Adjutant General Knox Limbacher, he wants individuals, his teams out there, not stationed at the armory, but actually in the fire stations, ready to respond right after the storm. He's very looking forward to going out and doing things. We have vehicles on St. John currently. Our National Guard vehicle has been in place at his request and our coordination today.
Turning our attention to the crime report, a St. Croix man was arrested after a vehicle incident claimed the lives of two motorists in February. According to police, the two-car collision occurred in the vicinity on Rattan Road and Sion Valley intersection at the Old Rusty Tank. A green Jeep Wrangler was heading westbound on Rattan Road, while a blue Isuzu Rodeo was heading north, making a right turn eastbound. Both the driver and passenger in the Jeep Wrangler succumbed to their injuries after hitting the tank and knocking it over. The driver in the other vehicle was minimally injured. He said he stopped at the intersection when he saw the Jeep Wrangler coming in fast. He then felt an impact to his vehicle and saw the Jeep hit the rusty tank, causing it to fall. The deceased driver, Marcus George Roy, was 29 years old. His passenger, Quinton Lavelle Thomas, was 35 years old. They were both contract workers from Texas working at Lime Tree Bay. On June 17th, Ivan Hansen, 60 years old, was arrested and charged for 2 counts of negligent homicide by vehicle. He failed to post bail, which was $15,000. He was remanded to the Golden Grove facility. Meanwhile, on St. Thomas, an arrest was made on the Sunday shooting at Cokie Point. On Sunday, June 16th, around 12:30 a.m. in the morning, responding officers found an unknown male laying on the public roadway in the area of Cokie Point Road. The unknown black male sustained a gunshot wound to the area of the lower abdomen and was transported to the Schneider Regional Medical Center for treatment. The victim remains in stable condition at this time. Investigation of the incident revealed that the victim was robbed of some money, which was U.S. currency, and then shot by the suspects who fled the scenes. On Tuesday, June 18th, 23-year-old Taquan Van Holten was found in the Smith Bay area and arrested in connection to the incident. The charges include assault first degree, assault third degree, robbery second degree using a dangerous weapon during the commission of a crime, possession of an unlicensed firearm, and aiding and abetting. Van Holten was unable to post the $75,000 bail. He was remanded to the Bureau of Corrections pending his advice of rights hearing. Elijah Danny Edwards is wanted by the Criminal Investigations Bureau in connection with robbery in the first degree that occurred on May 25, 2019 at the Exquisite Barber and Bar. Edwards is known to be armed and dangerous and frequents the Paul and Pearson Garden housing community. Elijah Edwards, aka Danny, is 19 years old, a black male individual with a height of about 5 feet 11 inches and 140 pounds. He's slim built, brown complexion, and black hair. Edwards frequents the Smith Bay area. A third incident of arson on St. Croix just raised the reward total for the 3 cases to $40,000 for information leading to the arrest of suspects. Virgin Islands Paving was the latest casualty. They're offering a $10,000 reward for the information leading to the arrest of those responsible for the destruction of a cat track excavator, owned by the company. This incident, which occurred on June 16th, Sunday evening, in the vicinity of Sion Farm, has been determined an arson. Meanwhile, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, or the ATF, is also seeking information on these incidents. These include the April 30th early morning fire at the Stop and Save Food Market and the May 8th fire at the St. Croix Trading in the Mount Welcome area of Christiansted. Both fires have been determined to have been intentionally set, and both businesses report the theft of cash and other items. The ATF is posting a reward of $10,000 for each of these incidents. If you have any information, call the numbers on your screen. The VI Fire Marshal's office at 773-8050 or Crime Stoppers VI at 1-800-222-TIPS. You can also go online at www.crimestoppersvi.org or at www.p3tips.com. Coming up next, a small group of Virgin Islanders are celebrating the kickoff of President Trump's re-election campaign, plus St. Croix chefs go head-to-head in the Chef's Cook-Off. We'll be right back. Welcome back. On Tuesday, President Donald Trump headed down to Florida for the kickoff of his 2020 re-election bid. While the president has not been that popular in the territory, which is majority Democrat, a small group of Virgin Islanders remain steadfast in throwing their support behind the president. The Virgin Islands Republican Party held watch parties on Tuesday evening at the Cafe Amalia on St. Thomas and Duke's at Company House Hotel on St. Croix. They called the event the Mega Meetup to help launch President Trump's re-election campaign. While it wasn't quite as big a gathering as the event name suggested, these Virgin Islanders made up for it in unwavering support for the president. We caught up with VI GOP Chairman John Canegata on St. Croix. Here's more from him.
The Trump 2020 campaign asks all the chairmen across the country, that's both the territories and 50 states, hey, we want to invigorate the party, can you throw an event for us? I said, absolutely, we're on board, we're a territory, we're a part of this great nation, this great union. I said, without a doubt, we're going to do something. For us, we have to do it in both districts, right? So the St. Thomas, St. John's district, and obviously on St. Croix. So we got it done. It was short notice, but we got this done, Gary. 17 months is going to run up on us. This election is right around the corner. So as a Republican Party, we have to have X amount of meetings. Our rules for the convention is due in October. So we're doing a lot of meetings to establish our rules. Things are going to be drastically different. We really want to just make it simple, get our delegates on the ballot, get good delegates to represent the Virgin Islands so that we can go on to North Carolina, which is going to be the next convention. I'm just excited about the whole process, Gary. 9 delegates, right? So obviously the 3 members of the RNC, and then we get 6 delegates that we're going to elect to get out there to vote for the next president of the United States. So we're going to do a caucus this year. Basically, we get to go out there and vote. So the members of the Republican Party and obviously the leadership, we get together and we're going to decide, who the next delegates are going to be for this convention. It's kind of tough being a Republican in the Virgin Islands. People are not always excited. They just don't understand what the Republican Party is about. And our goal in the next 17 months is really to get to the schools, get out to the public, teach our community about all the things that this administration have done. Look at all of the money that's come in this economy after this last storms. Without a doubt, the administration's been on the side of the Virgin Islands, and we just want people in the Virgin Islands to start supporting what this administration is all about. And I'm the leader of this party, and I'm going to do my part to get that done.
3 of the winning chefs from the 2019 Taste of St. Croix continued to show off their culinary talents at the Taste of St. Croix Winners Cook-Off competition. Held at the Ridge to Reef Farm in Frederickstead, the chefs were asked to create 1 appetizer and 1 entree using ingredients mostly supplied from the Ridge to Reef Farm. The judging scorecard featured various categories: knife and kitchenware skills, utilizing indigenous ingredients, portion control, presentation, the ability to perform under pressure, chef appearance, and taste. The winner would travel to Miami to view the Taste of the Caribbean competition this weekend. The 3 judges had a tough decision, and when the votes were tallied, first place went to Digby Stradiron of Brada Restaurant. And there was a tie for second between Jamie Marshall Bates from Double D's and Terrence Bryson representing Seja Farms.
Everybody who is working today, they kind of have a better understanding of local ingredients because that's such a surplus in front of them. So next time they have a wax apple, they know how to deal with a wax apple. They know how to deal with everything that's on those beautiful plates, the carambolas, the mangoes. And it just goes to show that the Virgin Island fruits aren't just something that we need to just pop open all the time and eat because it is so delicious, but we could incorporate into our cuisine, our restaurants, and create a supply chain with farmers.
This is my first time, and I just wanted to get the experience and see what a cook-off is like and seeing what to do on my next one. I'm very glad Digby was here because he was my mentor in the past, and he won. That's good. I came in second place. That's very nice. So that's it. The biggest challenge was just my first time.
You must be able to communicate in the kitchen. If you can't communicate in the kitchen, it's like stuff will never make it to where it's supposed to be at the end result because you never did communicate. So maybe the one season that you did need, if you asked a question, you could have got it instead of just not saying anything and just being silent and not working with anybody.
St. Croix is a great place to be right now as chefs and agriculture work together. Everybody's working hard, maybe paying a little bit more to support locally, which is great. And I think the market is adjusted to that. I put the name of the farm where I get my products on my menu. My menu changes based on availability. These guys are following suit.
Stick around. Your News 2 Accuweather forecast is coming up next.
evening. We're tracking out some moisture across the Lesser Antilles that will eventually be bringing some influence to our weather for tonight and into your Thursday. Now, there's a tropical wave. You can see it there. I'm going to zoom in a tad bit closer for you. And that moisture out to Trinidad and Tobago through the windwards and continues to press some of it to the north into the leewards. And eventually, we'll be noticing some low-level moisture influencing our pattern for tonight as well as tomorrow. Partly cloudy skies tonight. Isolated activity, so nothing widespread because that deeper moisture is well to our south with a low of 80. And tomorrow we'll be warming up into the upper 80s in St. John. Showers still in spots. Isolated showers as well for St. Thomas with a high at 88 and 89 in St. Croix, and calling for a copy and paste forecast for the other islands. So not a ton of moisture, just enough to say we have a shower or two. Now, as far as that marine forecast goes, waves have been running pretty high. And for tomorrow, 4 to 6 feet. Winds out of the east, 15 to 20 knots. We do have a small craft use caution on the Atlantic. And as for the Caribbean side, we have a small craft use caution. But as we move into the rest of tonight, we will notice a small craft advisory taking effect into at least your Friday afternoon. Waves 5 to 7 feet. So pretty chunky, pretty high and choppy, I should say, with winds out of the east 15 to 20 knots. And that's where we could see some very rough surf when we have those advisories in places. Now, temperatures not changing too much. Thursday, we'll be watching that tropical wave move further to the west. Bulk of the moisture well to our south, as I mentioned. Then into Friday, drier conditions come into place, and this is where we're really going to start loving the sunrises and sunsets, because dust comes into play. And when those dust particles start to move in, yes, that limits the precipitation, but it also allows us for the most beautiful sunsets here across the U.S. Virgin Islands. So lots of sun Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and you'll notice a bit more moisture as we head into your early week.
Thank you for that. Coming up next, Alex Randall's news and comments. Stick around.
You're watching News 2. This is Alex Randall with news and comment. This was the big graduation week. Both St. Thomas High Schools held graduation. 290 seniors at Charlotte Emily High School got their diplomas. Of that total, 167 headed to the University of the Virgin Islands to take advantage of the free tuition program. The kids certainly were pumped up with their big graduation. At Ivana Eudora Ken School, they held graduation for 158 seniors going home with diplomas. 58 headed to the university in the fall. Another handful joining the military and Job Corps. And there were 13 seniors at Seventh-day Adventist School also getting their diplomas. There was good news at the animal shelter this week. Andy Smith of Island Roads came and paved the road. Now, in case you've never been up there, it used to be riddled with potholes, deep ravines. It's the kind of road that rips the bottom out of your car. And Andy Smith of Island Roads, you made good news. The bad news is the Humane Society is still so busy. There are a huge number of abandoned animals in the Virgin Islands. It is so sad. People just dump animals, homeless pets. And if they haven't been spayed or neutered, they turn into litters of puppies and clutches of cats. Please, if you have a pet, please be responsible for it and get it spayed or neutered. You see this all the time at the beach. The tourists come for our beaches and sunshine. And when they get to the beach, they lather on sunscreen. Cover yourself with chemicals. All things considered, it would be way easier just to stay in the shade. But they came for the sunshine, and then they put on all these chemicals so the sunshine never touches them. Makes no sense to me. The really sad part is the chemicals in the sunscreen wash into our ocean. And the chemicals are harmful to our coral reef. Some 6,000 tons of sunscreens dumped into our reefs every year. And it is killing the coral reefs. And this is even crazier. The chemicals in the sunscreen disrupt the human hormone system. Exposure to these endocrine disruptors causes early puberty in girls and lower sperm count in men. And then to top it all off, the fish eat the chemicals, then we eat the fish, so we eat the chemicals. We are not just killing the coral, we're killing ourselves. Our legislature is developing a ban on sunscreen. We could be the first territory or state with a ban on 2 nasty chemicals. And before you slather on sunscreen, please consider just sit in the shade instead. Carambola Golf Club is a nightmare. It's supposed to be a profitable business. And they went in front of the Economic Development Commission begging for an extension of their tax breaks. Please, 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 no gross receipts tax, please, no real estate tax, please, no excise tax, please. Former Governor Mapp said, no, pay your taxes. Now Carambola is hopeful that Governor Bryan will approve the tax breaks. And the really stupid thing is that Carambola doesn't make money. As a business, it's a failure. Not enough people play golf, not enough visitors, not enough local residents. Shut it down. We tell ourselves all the time how much we love cruise ships. We love them because people come on the ships and they spend money here. But cruise ships also bring a lot of trash, human waste, fuel oil, and all kinds of junk. Carnival Corporation got hauled into court in Florida for illegal waste dumping. The judge slapped them with a $20 million penalty, and the judge threatened to ban them from all U.S. ports. This is Carnival now. We're talking about 100 ships. They were dumping plastic with food waste. And many of the ships were cited for dumping are the ones we see here every week. Now, international law forbids the release of plastic into the ocean anywhere on the planet. Sewage can be dumped 3 miles offshore if it's treated, 12 miles offshore if it's not treated. Same with garbage. If it's treated, it can be dumped closer to shore. But who is watching our waters? The Port Authority is in charge of the ports. Department of Planning and Natural Resources is our main environmental agency, but it's the Coast Guard in charge of monitoring environmental enforcement. 3 different agencies. Seems to me there's a lot of room for thinking that the other guy is doing the watching and paying attention. So we welcome the cruise ships. They bring money, but we have to put up with all the pollution. Thanks for watching. This is Alex Randall with News and Comment. Now back to Leslie.
Thank you for that, Alex. And that's it for our show tonight. We're live on Facebook and YouTube and on via Channel 4 and 504 Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. Follow us on social media. Tag us on any story you want to see on News 2 or send us a message on Messenger. You can also email us at newsdirector@tv2.vi. Thanks again for joining us on News 2. I'm Leslie Comisian. We'll see you next time.